What's up, guys? So today we're going to talk about a quick little story of Christina helping out a family out of Timber Cove.
This is where we show you the ins and outs and everything there is to know about mobile homes. It is truly our mission to transform lives through mobile homes. So thanks for watching Franco Mobile Homes.
There's actually a single mom and a daughter that was moving out of the area. Could you tell us a bit about your client at Timber Cove, Christina?
Yeah, so for our clients over in Timber Cove, so for those of you who don't know, Timber Cove is a mobile home community that's located in the Campbell area. I think it's one of the only ones that's all ages left in the area too. So, she's been trying to kind of on and off about selling her home for the past, almost a year now, but she decided to take that leap in commitment and, list her home with us.
Nice, nice. Man, that area, Timber Cove is such a beautiful park. It's a Brandenburg community, very well kept. Maybe we can play some clips and photos of that in this video. But could you talk a little bit about the amenities and what it's nearby? Because that Campbell area where Timber Cove is a very expensive area.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so for that specific part, all the nearby ones have actually closed down or they no longer exist. But Timber Cove is very hidden actually, so not that many people notice it when you're driving. It's very tucked away, and the reason why a lot of people would really like. To me, I really consider almost a five-star community too, is because it's located in a very private area. So you have one of the major trails that run right behind the park. Totally forgot the name of it, but
I'll look it up.
it's one of the major trails, I think, with a river as well that runs through Campbell. And then that park is actually very, very well kept. One of my favorites, actually. The value of those homes go up really well because of how, a lot of buyers for a lot of mobile home communities, I've noticed that in the Bay Area where you don't really get those trees, right? You don't really get to have them live in a really peaceful, quiet area, no trees, no highways, all that loud street noise that you don't really get. So it really truly feels that you're living in a really private, secluded community.
Gotcha. It's called the Los Gatos Creek Trail, which is a very popular trail. And I think it's super underrated because different wealth classes have different priorities, and especially I find a lot of really wealthy people love living near water, and they love being able to be walkable to a nice trail. And like you said, the trees are so beautiful there. And for many people, this is a perfect place for them. And they actually had their own private gate that they have access right to that trail, literally within 50 feet from their home. And it's a very nice trail.
Yeah, I remember, our clients mentioning that, she really enjoyed that area because she can literally just take about, walk to the trail and she can walk like about 10 minutes and she'll reach downtown Campbell already, not having to pull out her car, not even having to go out to the highway. She literally just bike the whole trail down to downtown Campbell.
Yeah, and imagine that lifestyle, being able to grab coffee from your home and just be able to walk against the water in that park. I know a lot of people that walk that trail very often, and being able to be accessible to Prune Yard, be accessible to Trader Joe's and that sort of thing without having to get into your car. And that's something worth paying for. And the new family that you help get in there is going to be able to help with that. So that's awesome. Well, I want to talk about these clients too, because she was ready. I remember hearing her story, but as she was getting ready to sell, she basically just retired, was so excited for this month-long trip that she's going to be, that it's a vacation that she's planned for her most of her lifetime. But basically, I love how you handled it because she was able to be hands-off without having to worry, and while you still managed to help her out with everything. So yeah, tell us more about that.
Yeah, so like you said, this client, she had recently retired from her job, and that was one of the main reasons why she wanted to sell her home and move out of the area because now that she's retired, she wanted to go somewhere and move somewhere that she can really just enjoy the rest of her time and with her daughter as well. So she, during the home selling process, she told us like, hey, I I want to enjoy my time here. And we realized that how much that time really meant to her, being able to enjoy just relaxing. And that was a big thing, right? And so we decided to basically make this whole experience very hands off for her. So the moment that we had, agreed to help her list her home, from that moment moving onward, everything we were able to handle on her own. And we actually barely ever had to, reach out to her.
Yeah.
I think the only time that we ever had to reach out to her was give her that exciting news that we were to help her get, multiple offers on her home. So all the paperwork, everything was hands off.
Yeah. So let me reiterate this because I feel like this is so super underrated. So basically, she left. She met us once, handed us the keys, was able to go fully on vacation. There were some calls that you had back and forth, and really was able to handle all the disclosures, all the contract stuff virtually through DocuSign. But there's still a lot to be done. There were some park upgrade issues that had to be fixed, certain handyman issues that had to be fixed. But thanks to working with an agent like you, she was able to handle all that virtually without her having to be home, right?
That's like for me, like I think that's one of the most important things when it comes to working with an agent because you want an agent that is able to handle things for you, right? Which is the reason why you want to have an agent in the first place, right? And for me, it was really important that the less stressful the process I made for her, the better. So whatever I was able to step in and handle for her, the better, and she can really enjoy her time, do what she needs to do and leave the important stuff to us, leave the stuff that really matters in terms of the home selling process for us to take care of for her.
Mm-hmm. And that's really why we kind of designed this business. We want to kind of alleviate the big stress of selling a mobile home and really come out with the best outcome for your client, for our clients. And really, that's really what panned out here because you have buyers in this area. We held an open house, that sort of thing. And really it ended up being a bidding situation, basically a bidding war around her home, right? So like there was a few offers that were around that home, right?
Yeah, definitely. We, being the fact that her home was in a very, high desired community, we really expressed and not only try to sell the home itself, but really sell the community. And I think that really helped push for it to get multiple offers as, other than just highlighting the home, what we did was we also marketed how great it is to live in this community, how great it is to live in this nearby area, how great it is to have a home that can really go up in value within the next few years. So I think by highlighting all of those extra things outside of just the home itself, I think that really helped, push for us to get a lot of good buyers for our home. And it ended up being a situation where, we were able to have like you said, bidding war of the home and she, got over asking offers and, more money in her pockets at the end of the day.
Totally. And I want to talk a little bit about those offers too. I think it's so important working with people that specialize in mobile homes when it comes to deciding between these offers. When you have a multiple offer situation, it's so important to understand that these aren't just like single family home offers, right? You have to be able to understand who the lenders are for these homes. You have to understand their likelihood of being able to be park approved. It's not just the dollars and cents of what's going to end up in their pocket, but the likelihood of any issues coming up, what contingency issues could come up. Because we had multiple offers, we were able to negotiate no inspection contingencies, which means that the buyer is releasing the right to be able to negotiate any form of repairs. And these are things that you want to these are problems that are coming in the future that you want to relieve from your client, from our seller, so that these problems won't come up later. And when it comes to selecting multiple offers, this is so important in mobile homes because in mobile homes, it's very easy for these homes to fall apart and you don't want to go 30 days pending just to come to find out that it's not going to be sellable and it's not going to work out. And then the buyers that were previously there are no longer going to be able to purchase. But I think it was very beneficial for them to work with us and in negotiating these offers, and we were able to bring such a good outcome for them.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the main thing I really want to reiterate in this part as well is that, like, the reason why I always recommend that sellers really go with an agent that, there's a bunch of agents out there, right? There's residential agents, there are mobile home agents, but you have to really understand that it's really important to work with an agent that specifically specializes in mobile homes. That way, because with mobile homes, there's a whole different animal to dissect. And yes, you can go with the residential agent, but then they're not going to know, how to make a mobile home stand out and how to protect with a mobile home.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like these offers that our client got, although yes, we got multiple like over asking offers, but at the end of the day, like, just because an offer is over asking on this one where it's like maybe 20K, 30K higher, doesn't make it any better than an offer that's maybe just a little bit less. But it's really understanding how to read an offer and how to, understand that yes, it is over asking over here, but if they ask you for a bunch of contingencies, it doesn't make sense because that's a higher risk offer.
Oh, totally.
So like what we did was we, helped our client understand and really break down the offer, to like understand what this offer entails, right? And help her navigate to make the better decision and really negotiate on the other end so that it comes out, like I said, a win-win for everyone.
Absolutely. So, man, yeah, and I think the way you explain this to your clients is beautiful, and it's very important that you're able to kind of bring in these complexity for them to understand what they should be worried about, because they don't, you sell homes every day, but they don't, and you have problems that came up in the past, and you have the experience of those problems, so you know what they should be worried about. But going in blind, we often so many times have other agents or clients that have worked with agents that this is their first mobile homes, and they end up coming to us with the problems. And because you deal with this day to day, these problems firsthand and have experienced them and know how to correct whenever there is a problem. So that's awesome. To wrap up on this, yeah, I mean, your client, because of this, they were able to. Actually, I'm sorry. I should have brought up that she's a teacher too. She was a teacher. Definitely a perfect working class example. And because she had this home that appreciated by a lot, now she was able to buy a single family home in Humboldt, right? So that's awesome. So basically, they just sold and they're pending for a new property in Humboldt. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so like you said, she was a teacher in the San Jose school district. So she's been teaching for over 10 years now, I believe. First she retired, and with the rising costs in the Bay Area, she wanted to move to an area that was going to really help her daughter grow as well. So with the sale of their home, they were able to purchase a residential home in the Humboldt area that's really much more catered towards her personality, and it's just more, what both the client and her daughter really wanted and dreamed of living. So, with the sale of their home, they were able to purchase a Victorian style home, I believe that's over 5 bedrooms. And she went from something that, was about 1,000 square feet to now almost 2,000 square feet. So that was one of the things that we were really happy was that, helped her take a next step into home ownership. And now she's, gets to live in the home of her dreams and in the area that she wants to retire in, as well as her daughter is able to start her own jewelry business over there as well.
Yep. Yeah. And this is what I love about mobile homes is because you can't see that. Like if she was a teacher and renting in the area, the truth of it is I honestly believe she wouldn't have been able to purchase this home, right? And because she did own this home, she was able to have an asset, basically like a forced piggy bank or a saving account that was also an investment that was appreciating in value. And she sold this to have a huge down payment on her future next home. But if she did the alternative and kept renting, guess what? Those savings would have been gone. She wouldn't have had that appreciation or equity, and probably wouldn't have been able to keep up with rent in this area for those years that she lived in Timber Cove. So that's awesome. I'm glad you helped them out. And then also I'm glad you helped a great family get into that home and for them to get into ownership as well. So great job on that, Christina.